Hello, now I'm unmuted. Hello,
Oh,
welcome.
wow.
I'm professional. We're
Didn't know you had
VTubers.
the power to mute yourself. That's amazing.
A woo muting. How's it going? Today I'm interviewing Ulner. Sorry, interrogating Ulner.
Oh, so it's not an interview. Oh, I see now. Right.
Interview interrogation is the same. You know,
It is all the same.
it's just a bit more. There's implied threatening, I guess, in interrogation. But since the Geneva Convention, you have to, I'm not sure where I was going with that. Anyway.
Can't use hot prods anymore. I checked.
What?
You can't use hot prods anymore. No. No. Torture methods have to be limited to non-physical at best.
Shit. Well.
You can play Nickelback at maximum volume, though.
I mean, it's not as fun, but I'll play that later.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I can't wait for my ears to bleed.
Any time. Maybe I'll throw in some Crazy Frog.
Oh God.
Because I'm a professional. But yeah, I'm just gonna dunk you right in, like the witches of old. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, given that the past 3 weeks have been incredibly hectic. I would say, like, with tomorrow approaching, I feel pretty good actually. Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow's the big day.
It is, even though it was supposed to be last week, but life happened. Family was like, "Yo, could you do this long list of favors for us?" I'm like, but I need to declare myself as existing to the internet world. How could I not? And alas, I ended up having to change the day. I ended up having to change the date.
Oh.
That's unfortunate, but hey, like, life happens. What'd you expect?
It is what it is. Parents just don't understand that, you're a micro celebrity, you have responsibilities.
Micro? I'm massively famous, as in, like, clearly everybody in the entire, 7.3 billion now, people know exactly who I am. Well, you say the name, you're like, oh, I know that person. I'm clearly that famous.
Sorry, macro celebrity.
Thank you.
Alright, well, I'm transmitting you live through my crystal ball. So if there's any hiccups, blame the ball and the wizard, not me. I'm a fighter, I don't know magic. But yeah.
I only know fishing, so...
It's an important skill. I've spent so many hours.
It is.
But yeah, so usually I start these by saying what I know about you. But you've had a bit of a transmogrification. How do you say that? Transmogrification?
Yeah, transmogrification, transformation, a sudden change in post. The fish is dead. I fought the fish 1v1. Final destination, no items, Fox only, 1 stock, and I won. So clearly, that's how it came to be, really.
Well,
it's in lore. It's in lore. It's
it's canon.
Canon. It's canon.
Well, I'll miss the fish, but I'm interested to see this new you. To see where it goes.
I mean, the fish is still around. Basically, what I've done is I'm slapping an obscene amount of references wherever possible in whatever I do. For example, my logo is a dead fish.
It's very fitting.
When I get around to making the proper stinger transitions, which is, by the way, the most painful thing to do. Like, kudos to anybody who does it for money and stuff, like who actually does it as a business. It's so painful. But I do want to slap some references in that as well. There's a lot going on that's just Fishbowl Ulner that's in the works, but it's gonna take a very long time.
It's pretty good. It's very admirable. You got Fishy Devils. That's your
Fishy Devils.
Fishy Devils. But yeah. So what do I know you? You're Ulner. I've seen you play RuneScape. I've seen you play. What's that game? Space Ninjas. Warframe. That's it.
Yeah.
There was another one, but I completely forgot and I didn't take notes. So, you play video games. That's what you do.
I play a lot of video games. If I had to narrow it down specifically, I play RPGs. RuneScape is my main game. I play that half of the week. It's like 2 days in the week I play RuneScape, and then 2 days I play. It's called game exploration. It's me looking at a franchise or a genre. Sometimes I'm like, oh, why don't we look at a specific genre that's not sports? I refuse to play sports, but any particular like genre, they're like, oh, like anybody want to play some boomer shooters? And I'll just sit there and play through, like maybe for like a month to a few months of just nothing but boomer shooters until people get sick and tired of me playing boomer shooters.
How can people get tired of boomer shooters?
Exactly. They're called boomer shooters. It's been around for a long time. Nobody's sick of it yet. I hope. I'm not. I love them. But currently, I am playing the Shin Megami Tensei series in those 2 days. I made a joke to my community that if they donated enough, would get the third game in the HD remaster, or as its full title is, Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD Remaster, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series and Raido Kuzunoha from the Raido Kuzunoha Devil Summoner series. I got that in Collector's Edition. If I got that, then I would play through the entire series of the games that I own, and I'll just... it turns out I own about like 20-something odd games, so... I'll see you next year whether or not I change the... whether or not I get through it in the end.
Well, now you're a Tensei streamer. As long as you're enjoying it.
Oh, it's my favorite franchise, absolutely.
What kind of gameplay is it? Because I've heard the name, but I've never actually looked into it.
It's a turn-based JRPG series. The old games are all dungeon crawlers, but the newer ones, such as like Persona and whatnot, which I guess you could say it's its own like series now. It's no longer a spin-off, but they're all turn-based RPGs in some shape or form, and it's all based off of mythology, religion. Always an apocalypse that's happening. It's always the end of the world of some shape or form, and fighting God. You're always fighting God. That's something that I do on the daily basis, apparently.
Well, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to keep him on his toes. So. Yeah.
I just go upstairs. Like, it's just a short trip upstairs. It's in what are they called? An escalator. That's the word. It's just an escalator trip up there. I knock on his door and I'll be like, "Hey, God!" and I punch him, and then he punts me back to the bottom, and I'll be like, "I'll see you tomorrow." And then 2 days. Okay, I get 2 days off. I get 2 days off, so it's great. The work benefits are very, very, very nice. It's definitely worth it.
Did you get dental?
Yes, I get dental. I get full health care. I kind of need it if he's kicking me down an entire flight of stairs from heaven.
Definitely.
And they give me it's only 4 days a week.
Ah. Well,
it's 4 days a week. And most of it's just travel time.
I can't argue that. So I might have to reassess my career.
You can apply too. Everyone can apply. All the requirement is you need to survive a punch from God and a drastic drop back down to hell. That's the only requirement.
I might need to level up a bit first. I haven't got the level 99 cape for stair lift yet, so.
Oh, that's a very easy one. Don't worry. You just get on a step and you just stand there. And you get it's not great XP per hour though, but it's pretty rewarding. I'd say it's good for multitasking.
Ah, yeah. There's the classic stuff.
The good classic stuff.
But yeah, let's rewind a little bit while we're on this stairway to God, because we got a long way, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's a long way.
So how did you discover VTubers?
Well, as of tomorrow, fun fact, as of tomorrow, I have been a content creator for 10 entire years.
Holy shit.
That's 10 times 365 days. I have been doing this for 10 years, but I was an avatar streamer beforehand. VTubers were not a thing back in like 2011, 2012 time. There was character streamers, and then there was avatar streamers. And character streamers were more like, I'm wearing a costume, I'm playing as a character, I am acting in a role, that kind of stuff. And then there was avatar streamers who were just not so much playing a role, but just more so that they just don't want to have a webcam.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have I did not like the idea of having a webcam on me. So I was an avatar streamer up until like 2017. I stopped for a while, just did YouTube videos where I don't really need to have like an avatar or anything on. It was just YouTube videos in general. And then it was the end of 2019. A friend of mine who's been like, I've known them for like a good 9 years, and he was like, I'm surprised you're not a VTuber yet. I'm like, a what? A VTuber? What's that? Like we talk about cardboard tubes from from toilet rolls? Because I have plenty of those. He's like, no, check it out. And then he shows me, he shows me like, who was it that I was being shown? It was an entire it was an entire compilation of just Hololive in general at the time, like the whole like debuts and stuff. And I just sat there and I'm like, oh, but this is quite literally what I've done since like since 2011. I've been doing this whole time, but this time like the avatar can move, it can talk, and there's 3D options, there's 2D options. It's crazy. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And what ended up happening was I realized that the sheer cost at the time, it's gone up since, and good for the artists and riggers for putting the price up. I don't know how many artists and riggers I've quite literally had to smack with my fishing pole to get them to up their prices. But I looked at the cost at the time. I was like, I'm too poor for this. So I decided to wait and save up. And around December-ish, give or take a month. No, it might be November, it might be December. I started drawing the original Ulner. And he came to life. I say he, but it's more like a they. It doesn't really particularly matter. They came to life in the 6th of January this year. In the form of the PNG. The fishbowl, yes.
Yes, the fish.
The good old fishbowl. Also hydrate, yes, thank you.
Yeah. I've got a nice monster.
I have booze.
Woo.
It is whiskey liqueur crossed with a whole bunch of fruit juices. Enough that it's ridiculously sweet, but I was like, if I'm going to be talking for a lot, I'd rather have something that's sweet and easy to go down my throat, as opposed to something that's quite a hard dark liquor, because I do quite fancy a dark liquor myself.
The good stuff.
Yes, but it's content creator for too long.
Damn, caps lock.
You can't believe you caps locked me like this. Disgusting.
That's my favorite video. I love it.
How come one of you haven't flushed the toilet after they've had a shit? Well, it wasn't me. Well, look at one of yous. Disgusting.
And then they both turn back.
We actually did find out who didn't flush the toilet. We found out.
Are you allowed to say?
I think it was like It was the person. It was the person who wasn't singing, did not start singing. That was the one who didn't flush the toilet.
Oh,
We
no.
found out. Yeah. We finally, the saga came to end in like 2019, where someone's like, yeah, that's the person. That's the person who didn't flush the toilet after they've had a shit.
I assumed she was the little sister.
Yeah, it's the little sister. Yeah, they were sisters.
Disgusting gate. Can't believe it. But yeah, VTubers. You became a VTuber.
I transformed.
Normally,
Evolved.
I would ask if any VTubers had an inspiration on you, but you could say you started the whole thing covertly.
That is part of my joke. Yes, that is part of my one of my jokes. Is that because you could theoretically say, because the methods of having a talking avatar back then was, audio spectrum on OBS. What you would do is you would max that out in size to put it to 1 bar, and every time you spoke with noise gate, it would flash on and off. And you would fit it has to be square, but you would fit a square image of your avatar, and then mask over a talking version with the audio gate. So it would just be like, if you're talking, it flashes on because the audio spectrum detects that you're speaking. It flashes with white, and the white's masking an image, so it shows the image. And that was the Yoldi method. It is horrible. It is a mess, and I'm very thankful that technology has advanced enough that I can be a 3D model as opposed to being literally it's like a RPG, like the Yoldi computer RPGs where the portrait's all square and the avatars talk in the inside of the square, and that's the only form of like connectivity you have with your characters is through this one square of a picture, like just a portrait of them in that square. That's how it was back then, which was incredibly awkward, and you couldn't use a GIF. It was all PNGs.
Oh. Now
Yeah.
you can shout, back in my day we had
Back in my day,
we didn't even have reactive Discord. We
didn't even have overlays back then. We had the black background every time you used a 4x3 game, and there was a lot of 4x3 games back then.
Oh
We
shit.
didn't even have a good capture card. We had to use one of those really, really disgusting USB stick things.
Ugh.
I still have mine. It still works. It's you go from like 720p to 480 without the stick. You go down in resolution.
What?
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. I'm so happy that technology has advanced so much that I can have a 1080p capture while being it's 720p because I've set it to 720, but it's 720p waifu. It's like, wow, thank you. Finally. Everything's alive and in good quality.
Now we are Black Mirror.
We are indeed.
So what sort of games did you play? I assume RuneScape, but did you play much else back in the early days?
I think like when people ask me like what games impact me the most in my life, I would say well, aside from old school RuneScape, that's an obvious. We can push that aside. Diablo was massive for me. My good old father, at the awkward age, I think it was like 8 or 10, was like, I finished this game. You may now play it. Despite the fact it's an 18+ game, it scared me to no end. But I played Diablo 1, and it's kind of like it was a huge impact for me. I haven't played 2. I am going to play 2 when Resurrected comes out, because I've been holding off on it. I actually own the collector's edition of 2. I actually went out of my way to buy the physical copy and the collector's edition for it, but I've not played it. That's a running trend on my stream. Every time I say I own something, someone's like, yeah, and you haven't played it, right? Yeah, because my backlog is about 1,300 games.
Oh. Never ends. It never ends.
I also have the Shin Megami Tensei series. That one's a bit awkward because I don't know kanji or hiragana very well. I know enough that if I was given a book that can help me with translating, I can do graphic novels. I did the Phoenix Wright series that way. That's another game. The Phoenix Wright series. I did Danganronpa when it was on PSP. That one was incredibly hard to try and keep up with like what's going on because you're on a time limit. So I had to figure out I had an actual English translation script that was really rough, plus my own terrible skills, plus a book, trying to juggle that game about, which that was kind of fun actually.
Like extra challenge.
Final Fantasy is another one. I do play 14. I used to be a 1.0 forum moderator and customer support member for that.
Oh.
So I have quite an extensive history with that game. I don't play it currently because I'm rebelling against Square for ruining 2 of my favorite jobs and not fixing them yet.
Oh.
I think it's getting fixed in Endwalker. I hope so, because then I can be a male bunny with my old jobs back. Thank you. I will no longer be jobless.
That's the classic MMO thing, is they ruined my class.
Well, it started off with Scholar, but Scholar's been kind of bad in general. Like, it's kind of been like, what's my job? What's my role here? In A Realm Reborn, it's like, I'm the shield healer. And then Astrologian came out, and they have better shields generally. They have better shields all around. So Scholar's like, okay, I'm a DPS healer. Now Sage is coming out, and they're a DPS healer. So Scholar's like, where am I? Where do I belong? What is my purpose in life?
In the library, not on the battlefield.
And then Monk happened, and I know Monk is getting fixed, but it has a lot of issues. One of the issues was that the Grease Lightning stacks, which is, for anyone who doesn't know Final Fantasy XIV, Grease Lightning is each stack increases the speed at which you can use your abilities. So the more stacks you have, maximum of 4, the faster you would do it. It gets really fast. It's like 1.6 seconds per cooldown on your skills. It's ridiculously fast. But the problem is that Grease Lightning can wear off. It has a duration time. And you refresh it by finishing the last of your combo. It refills it again. And what ends up happening is they had boss fights where they would stun you, go into a phase transition, and you would watch this fancy little phase transition happen, and your Grease Lightning stacks falling off at the same time.
No.
And it made every single monk cry. I have never seen such tears. And so they're like, oh, we'll give you an ability that lets you stand still, and if you stand still, it keeps the charges going. Except that the bosses stun you. Can't do anything while you're stunned. So they decided to remove Grease Lightning entirely, and the forms kind of became a little bit useless as a result. And I just sat there and I'm like, then what's Monk good for then? Like, where's the challenge? It's just press 3 buttons now. This is no good. This is no good at all. And so I quit. And I know it's getting fixed in Endwalker, and I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I don't want to lose out on such a good game.
I'm actually starting the game for the first time on Sunday, so...
I wish you all the luck. A Realm Reborn is not a good... I don't think there's not a single person out there who would say A Realm Reborn is a good base game. It is not a good base game. Heaven's Ward, it is critically acclaimed for a very good reason. It is very, very good. It goes uphill very quickly from Heaven's Ward onwards. A Realm Reborn's a bit of, it's secretly why the free trial is very generous, and it allows you to play the entirety of Heaven's Ward on top, because A Realm Reborn's not a good example to start off with. I feel bad, but at the same time, I hope you enjoy it. It's a good series. Like, the entire game and the entire franchise in general, it's very, very good.
I should enjoy it. I've never actually played a Final Fantasy game though, so I don't know if I'm going to be lost to lore-wise or not.
No. Final Fantasy, all the games are separate unless they have a direct sequel, which is usually like Part 2, 13 Part 2. 14 is more like a theme park of here's some references that you don't need to know, but if you know them, here you go, have fun. The entire story is just separate to itself.
Okay.
It it just references like, oh, like there's an entire raid at level 70 that references like Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 5 a little bit, and the raid in the 8-man raid in Shadowbringers is entirely Final Fantasy 8. So if you know the game, you're just like, yes. But if you don't, you can still enjoy it. You can still be like, oh, so this is a boss for Final Fantasy 8. This looks cool, and the music's really good. You can still enjoy it. You can definitely still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's I've had a lot of people ask me to play, and I was like, no, I don't want to play MMOs, but like I was worn down, so I'm playing it. Is it? Do you know if it's similar to WoW at all, or is it like very different?
It has similarities. It has similarities to WoW in that there's, tank, healer, DPS. The combat is tab targeted, aka press tab to change target, or click on the target itself. Unlike WoW, however, your base skills have a global cooldown. It's called GCD, global cooldown, and the base level of it, assuming that nothing of your job is ever happening at the moment, is 2.5 seconds. In World of Warcraft, it is instant. It's 0.01 seconds.
Oh.
So that's the major difference, really, is that but like at the start it feels slow, it feels sluggish, but each of the classes have their own reasons for being so slow and sluggish to start off with. Like I said with Monk, as soon as you get to Monk class, from Pugilist to Monk, now it's just like your cooldown's just 1.6 now. Your global cooldown's just 1.6. It was 2.5, and then it gradually goes down. It's just that. Ninjas, as another example, have an ability called Huton, and it when you cast it, and it suddenly the global cooldown goes down. I think it's like 1.8. And Dragoons have a lot of buttons in between the global cooldown, so you're pressing you have so many buttons to press, just in general, and so on and so forth. It makes up the higher level you are, the more buttons you have to press, and the less slow it feels. At some points, it feels way too fast.
Damn, I'm gonna have to get these I'm tongue-tied now. I'll have to get these hotkeys under control. Get them.
Yeah, I tell people when they first start, be like, you change your key bindings to what suits you, because you're going to hit level 30. You get your first you get the upgrade from the base class to an actual job. You actually get a job at level 30. Congratulations.
Oh wow. Just like real life.
Yeah, you get a job at 30. But once you hit that point, once it hits 30, that's when all the buttons start coming in higher amounts. So getting used to keybind, setting your own keybinds to what is more comfortable for you based on your own experiences in MMOs, or even just standardized stuff. Like I do 1 to 5, and then I do Control to 1 to 5, and then I do Alt 1 to 5. And then I have buttons in let me check my keyboard, like Q, E, R, F, V, C, X, Z, T, and H.
Oh.
So I have a lot of buttons, but then again, before I quit, I played Summoner. That's all buttons. It uses all your hotbars. It's all buttons.
That's the secret. It's all buttons.
It's all buttons. Press the button, kill the enemy, fight God.
Shit. What hotkey is to punch God?
Because I played Monk. All of my, aside from one ability, all of them are punches. But I have it's 1 to 3, Control 1 to 3, and then I think it's a couple of alt buttons as well. They're all punch God. Make sure to palm my keys as well, because accuracy. Look, punching does not require accuracy. You just need to hit the target. It doesn't matter where. Just hit God.
If you just graze his cheek, you're done for today. You've done your part.
I've done my part, yes.
But yeah, so you streamed some games. You became a VTuber. Have you found your streaming style and what you do during your stream different since becoming a VTuber, or is it essentially the same?
There is some differences, mostly because having an actual model, like this is something, of course, I've not had a model this entire time. I should probably make that clear. I've only had so when I was Fishbowl Ulner, I had no model, but I did create my own GIF reactive images, which was all done by me, all set up by me, but I could make like skits with those by like having an entire scene where it's just me with a gun with flames behind me. It's all threatening, anonymous, and ooh, like danger. And I still have that bit, and I have another one which I need to update, and I clearly don't have the time to update it until tomorrow. But it's just me in an office. Me in Hell's office being like, hello, welcome to Hell's offices, how may I help you? So I see that you've Mr. Chad viewer, that you said haha pee pee poo poo. Would you like to clarify on your statement of pee pee poo poo and like stuff like that? I can't do that if I was a still image. I was not capable of doing that if I was just one still image. So being able to finally have a model of some sort, like I didn't mind if it was 2D or 3D, but having some sort of model and just being, having all these little skits, that's the biggest difference. I didn't have the power to do that outside of video editing. And I did a lot of video editing. A ridiculous amount of video editing. I think I did like 2 videos a week.
Oh shit!
And none of them were actual none of them were stream. None of them were stream related videos as well. They were all completely unique. It was very crazy. But I think that's probably the biggest and only difference really, aside from maybe like aesthetics. Because my overlays back then were more fitting towards the games I played back then. Whereas now it's more of like my character's aesthetics and a bit of mine as well, as opposed to just League of Legends and Overwatch. I had my own overlays specifically designed for those 2 games, and they were kind of like in theme with those games as well.
I think that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you could incorporate some of that now. Like still have it mostly based off of you, but incorporate a little bit of the game you're playing.
Yeah, that's something that I've been doing with my exploration / marathon games. SMT one is the entire overlays are based off of the Megami Tensei interfaces and stuff. So it's very smooth, very clean, to the point kind of stuff. If I do another game series, like maybe I was thinking of doing the Tales of series. I was thinking of just having graphics that were in line with that series as well. Or if I start doing Doom, well, I don't have to change much if it's Doom. That is part of the aesthetics of my general stuff. And that's something I've been doing for like marathon specific ones.
It's pretty good. I've lost my place now on my notes, but
oh no.
It's bureaucracy. I hate it so much. But yeah, you've mentioned Hell a lot.
Yep.
You've mentioned punching gods. You've mentioned your office in Hell. Do you wanna go further into the lore, your backstory,
the lore? Yes. Because I'm gonna have to explain that tomorrow as well.
This is a practice run.
Yeah, it is. I'm what is classified as a devil of rebellion. Like devils all have their own little subsections. They all work in the same thing. They want contracts. They want souls. They want people to go to hell. Yada yada.
Kind of like VTubers.
But they tend to be specifically based off of like one thing in particular. There's no real jack of all trades devil. That's fantasizing it quite a lot. So there's you have the succubi, the demons of lust. You have the goblins, the devils of greed, and then you have me who just sits there in an office trying to make people rebel. I'm the devil of rebellion. It's a major sin. It's not a deadly sin. It's a major sin. Rebelling is bad, but I want you to do it. So my job is to pop up onto your internet browser, tell you some really, really horrific facts, and then make you go, oh no, I don't like this world anymore. I need to change it. Let's rebel. And I'll be like, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye. See you next Tuesday.
Damn. So it's like a selling job, like
It is. It's basically being a salesman. Only I don't sell anything. And I'm not after contracts. I just want you to I just want you to be like, you know, rebel, be a delinquent, be a menace to society. I believe in you. You can do it.
Oh, it's very supportive of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, how else are you gonna have people do it? You gotta be supportive, you know. And you gotta go around telling people horrible pieces of information.
Damn. Do you do much research? Do you have like cards you bring with you?
This is a hobby of mine when I'm not working. Aside from fishing, and playing like fishing games and stuff, I do like looking up really weird stuff on the internet. People would call it cursed stuff, but I also like facts that are actually real facts, like how, you know, the US FDA approves small amounts of rat droppings in chocolate bars.
Oh yeah, I've heard of stuff like that. It's a bit
Yeah, stuff like that, which makes you go, ew, that's disgusting. Why is this a thing? Like, curse capitalism. Let's destroy it. And I'll be like, good. Yes, good. I rub my hands together in glee.
Like the pus in milk and stuff.
Yeah, or like how the people who want to climb Mount Everest, like if this only happens in Mount Everest, people who want to climb up Mount Everest, in order to figure out which path is the correct path, they look for corpses. If they follow them, like if the correct path is where people have died, that is the correct path. Which sounds really counterintuitive, but when you think about it, the incorrect path is you falling off. So
Not
there
ideal.
wouldn't be anything if you fall off. So the correct path is usually where there's bodies just lying around because nobody cleans them up, and nobody should really. Yeah. It's quite rough climates over there, so it'd be very dangerous just to clean up in itself.
Might just create more bodies in the process.
Well, that just means more waypoints. That makes it, you know, people can't get lost that way. It's perfect. It's genius.
Maybe we should hey, go get that body. Oh no, you failed.
Oh no, you failed your mission. Oh no. Well, at least another person can probably get up there now because they'll know where to go. They won't get lost.
Stick a flag on you. Put a checkpoint up there.
Stick a flag. Oh, the poor boy. Just lodge in the leg. That'll do. Just there you go. Right.
But yeah, we can appreciate that. We need more facts, I feel. I mean, just because we're entertainment doesn't mean we can't be educational.
Exactly,
even if it is,
and I'm very educational. Yeah, even if my information is it's either really weird or it explains a lot, like how television ratings and stuff, like why you can't swear until 7 p.m, the actual reason behind those curse words and stuff. I've gone full in depth on stream, just being like, hey, like some of those swear words that you're told are curse words and you shouldn't say, they're not actually curse words. It's just that the Church of England, at some point between like the 1600s and the 1800s, said those are bad words now, and it's been like that since. Although quite a lot of those words are now becoming more and more lax, and they're more accepted. Like certain words are allowed in 13+ movies now, and certain curse words, like certain curse phrases, like "damn you," that's now completely allowed in general. You can say that to a kid, and it's fine now. Like generally, like for how things are rated. It's really, really weird. It's not just what you say, it's who it's said to, what the context is. So if you said a swear to a child, aka child being under the age of 13, that would be generally considered just not allowed, period, up until like the ages of 16+ content. It's not allowed. But you can say damn you to a child now. Wow.
Damn you, Timmy. Finish your homework.
It's the same as censorship. Like, people are like, oh, we're censoring everything. Oh, it's too much censorship. In 1960, if you were to wear an outfit that would reveal your belly button, you were asked by the BBC to literally plug it up.
What, the belly button?
They at the belly button. They would actually they would have these kind of like rubber like plugs within a skin, like within your skin tone, and they would just ask you to plug it because they considered belly button. Oh, you were screwed then. They probably just made you tape it, which is even worse. That's even worse.
How far we've come.
They wouldn't allow that. That was banned until like 1980 something. That's when belly buttons were suddenly out of nowhere, which is like, yeah, this is acceptable now. You can show your belly button on TV. Wow.
Hashtag free the belly button.
Free the belly button. That's the kind of stuff that I like to do. It's just, you know. I'll do it in other people's streams as well. I would pop up into their chat, tell a fact, and then disappear.
Like a mysterious
like, they're good
ghost.
Facts. They're not weird facts. They're usually just like really they're like facts, as opposed to being like really weird or grossed out ones. I keep those ones to my own stream content, or if I'm collabing with somebody, they're very accepting of that kind of stuff. Because some of those facts can get some of those. I wouldn't say like, oh, they're political or they're really disgusting per se. It can touch onto the TMI section. My last stream on Tuesday was me explaining like giving advice on if you were having an upset stomach and you've got toilet troubles, what are the good ways to deal with toilet troubles to make it easier on your life. Especially if you're working and you need to go to the bathroom a lot. There are ways to make it so you reduce the number of trips you have to go to, or you know, if you're going there, you make it a lot easier and a lot safer for your body, because it can hurt.
Yeah.
And those kind of facts, you can't just go up to somebody's stream and just be like, hey
man, you got shitting problems.
You got shitting problems. Your abdomen is the most powerful tool to help you with your shitting troubles. See you, bye, and then it fade away from existence. No, that it is true actually. Though the abdomen is one of the best muscles to strengthen for that stuff. I should know.
So like doing sit-ups helps you poop.
Squatting actually helps you poop easier. That's why these things with squatty potties exist, or when people tell you to squat on the toilet. It actually does help. Does it help to the point of changing your life? No. Because you can easily just squeeze your abdomen muscles for the same effect. It's just that you have to put more energy into squatting on a toilet.
Oh yeah, like a Russian on the lid.
Yeah. Just sitting on the lid. Like that's dedication. That's a lot of work. I'm not about that. I say that. I did my entire overlays and redesign in 3 weeks. But I'm anything else but that. I'm not I like to keep my energy as low as possible.
This more optimal that way.
I'm about efficiency, but I'm also about fun. And
fun efficiency.
Squatting on a toilet doesn't sound like fun. Or, well, it sounds efficient, but it doesn't sound fun.
I did actually buy one of those squatty potties earlier this year, and it's pretty good, but I do feel like a gremlin sitting there.
I use a bucket for the same effect. I ended up buying one because I have a mopping bucket for like, if you know any spillages happen in the kitchen, anything like any fat that leaks, I can easily quickly wipe it up in a split second, no problem. But I didn't want to use that bucket to just slam it in my bathroom, turn it upside down, it's like put my feet on it kind of thing. That to me was just like that's pushing it a bit. I'll buy one because I am like little stools. The stools are too small. Buckets are just about the right size for me personally, because I'm a short person, so buckets work. And I'm not gonna destroy a bucket by putting a little bit of weight on it.
Also inconvenient to always turn it upside down, I guess.
So now I just have one constantly upside down.
A perma bucket.
Yes.
Let's go back to VTubing a bit, away from shitting. Let's go a bit more highbrow instead of lowbrow. Yeah, so you became you've got your debut tomorrow.
Yep.
You got a new model, you got your lore, got overlays, got new alerts.
Yep.
Got new.
Everything's changed. Everything. Like, I was gonna be like, everything has changed, but that doesn't sound good on paper and when you say it. So I was like, look, I'll go through every single little tiny thing that has changed. It is everything, including my music playlists. I've changed entirely my music playlists. It's something that I mean, the music playlist has been planned out like a month in advance. I just tweaked it a little bit, so I added more stuff in there. But everything else is completely changed. I didn't want to keep any elements from the past.
Burn it, let it go.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like you may grieve the loss of the fish, but the fish still has to get flushed down the toilet. I'm sorry.
When's the funeral? When's the wake?
I was so if I wasn't going to debut so quickly, I was going to do an entire video skit of me, and I might do this just as one giant video skit and just put it on YouTube kind of thing instead. But I wanted to have a funeral where everybody's gathered around a toilet that is on a carpeted bathroom.
Carpeted?
And everyone's like, carpeted. It has to be cursed. This isn't twitch.tv/Ulner if it's not cursed. So it's around like a tree mint, an avocado green bathroom with carpeted flooring, all gathered at the toilet. You know, I say my piece, and I let other people, all my friends and stuff, have their own little piece to say, and then I flush the fish down the toilet. And then cue in a little section where it's like Resident Evil, because, you know, every single time there's in a Resident Evil game in the sewers, we have like some sort of fish or something that's probably died because you flushed it down the toilet, and it's come back for vengeance with the T-virus. Ooh! I was so tempted to do that at the end. To like, he's coming back.
It's a boss.
But it's a lot of work. I'll say that straight. It's not just it's three. You did it 3 weeks. That must have been like some quick hard work. I'm like, no. It was a lot of work. I had to design something from scratch, sketch it, put it onto VRoid. If I could get what I wanted on VRoid with bits and bobs, then put it into a reference sheet. Then from the reference sheet, figure out my overall aesthetics, because I didn't choose my aesthetics before making the model. I choose my aesthetics after making the model, because sometimes I want a particular idea from a model, but a different aesthetic that matches with it instead, which is the case in this. I would then decide my aesthetics for overlays and stuff, gradually make the overlays, then make the alerts, then the panels last, because the panels are really easy to make, but they're also really boring and dull, because they have to be in a PNG format. If they were like, you can have WebM or GIF, you could be darn sure I'm animating. I'm going crazy with my animations. Like, I really love animating stuff. I've also had to make they're currently PNG. I will upgrade them to GIF format at some point, but I do actually have a set of reactive PNG stuff that is kind of somewhat fully motioned, just to cover for any games where my CPU just doesn't allow VC face whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's quite a few games that they'll be just like, that's too much. And I was like, that's fine. I have a fully set up PNG that'll turn into a GIF, fully animated with expressions and stuff, so nobody's missing out, basically. Still the same old Ulner, but it's, I can be angry still. I can still be angry.
Draw on the angry eyes.
Ah, yes, the angry eyes. Even though they're slightly squint, but I'll fix them eventually.
So that's some Unity editing, I see.
Yes, a lot of hair and a lot of video and a lot of Unity editing.
That's the secret of VRoid that people don't know. It's all hair.
Oh, it is all editing. It is entirely all editing.
Oh.
I like the teeth, the fact that I can change my I can change my eyes as well, but I can't be bothered to do that. I'll do that later. Eyes, I have, you know, the facial stuff, like in terms of face masking.
Hey.
I have everything. I have everything. I that's all I need, you know?
You're ready for any occasion.
Exactly. All I need to do now is just outfits, which is the reason why I chose Vroid as opposed to learning to build my own model from scratch from Blender.
Yeah.
Was I wanted multiple outfits. I have this outfit and I have another one with a slightly different hairstyle. I have another outfit that's in the works. Well, two outfits. One of them I need to learn Blender to fix. The other one, I just need to know how to do fashion. I need to learn how to do fashion. But those two are almost it as well. I like the idea of, because as somebody who's a former delinquent IRL, out of character IRL, I was a former delinquent. I like the idea of exploring that, but looking at it from around the world. Because what I was brought up with is vastly different from the US or Japan or even Germany. The UK and Germany, like they're called outcast subcultures. They're vastly different, and the UK has like 4 of them.
What the UK,
the UK
ones?
has 4. So there's the obvious punk. This is the fun thing. There's punk, and then there's anarchists. They're actually 2 vastly different.
Are they like subclasses?
They kind of join in between. Yeah, they're like subclasses. They're like, I'm a delinquent, but what kind of delinquent are you? Are you a road man? Are you an EDM underground? Are you a grunge? Yeah, they're classified as delinquents now, and I'm like, oh, I guess so.
Is that an update of Chav?
Yeah, I would say
different?
Chav is still there. I think Chav, it's kind of like it's like
Rude, man.
so close. You know what? I'm very close to doing that actually. Of trying to.
Sorry.
I'm trying to. Have you found my location now? It's very hard to.
Detecting roadmen.
Detecting roadman. Roadman detected. Exterminate.
Get out my ends, cuz.
Those Nikes out of date.
Where are they?
4 months. Wear your socks. Wear your ill-fitted socks, mate. Ill-fitted smocks.
Oh.
It's. I've genuinely been like, because you know, the delinquency that I was brought up with. I mean, for starters, I was the cross between. I was industrial goth. That is what it's classified as, is industrial goth. It's basically a cross between cyberpunk and goth. It's called industrial goth. If you want to have a good idea of how I was back then, I would describe it as Resident Evil 4 merchant. It was like that was my thing. That was my thing. I literally sold stuff to people. I wouldn't steal. I mean, I did steal, but I didn't steal and sell it back. Anything that I ended up stealing was kind of like for my own benefit or for my own needs. But I would go onto Amazon, or I'd go to a wholesaler and I would buy like 50 Mars bars.
Whoa.
And I would resell them for a minuscule like price increase, and I would gradually increase the price further and further the more people wanted it, because supply versus demand. But I would get away with it because, one, I wasn't breaking any laws because I wasn't doing the multi-packs, because multi-packs cannot be resold. It literally states not for resale. You cannot do it by law, in the UK at least. So I would multi-buy actual singles for way less than the actual price of buying a single, and then I would sell it for less than store price, gradually increase it to the point that it's like 10 pence less than store price. So people had the benefit of having somebody who literally had this stuff on hand in their bag at school, for instance, or when I left school, I literally just had like in a box ready, just be like, oh, can I get like 10 Mars bars? I'll be like, sure, 35 each.
I was about to say, there's always one kid at school that will buy a bunch of snacks and sell them on the playground.
But I didn't do just that. No, I didn't. It wasn't like drugs or anything, but it was more along the lines of there people like, oh, I need a razor blade pack. I would ask them, I'd be like, why do you need a razor blade pack? Well, the ones that you have are the ones that only fit for my shaver, and I'm like, sweet. I give you the reduced price because I get it in bulk. And it was like I would purposely buy stuff that people. It wouldn't just be delinquents; it could be just anybody that actually needed it, and I'll just be there like, yeah. And I would pay people for protection. I have actually been threatened by multiple people being like, yo, stop selling shit. I have a story. The quick story on this one. There used to be a store. So this was post-secondary school. So for me, this was when I was 17 because I finished at 17 rather than 18. They were like, okay, there's a store that's about 10-15 minute walk. They do lunches and all that stuff. Most people tend to, when it gets to lunchtime, go over there. I would stand by the gate with a pushable box, and it would contain a bunch of snacks. I wouldn't do lunches and stuff, but I made a deal with a friend inside of the school to bring a kettle in. So what we would do is I would be able to get pot noodles, something that you're not allowed to buy in the store that's nearby. They actually banned that stuff from students from buying it because apparently it's a health risk. I'm like, it'll make me a shit ton of money. So why the hell not? So I made a deal with a guy to just be like, can you sneak a kettle in? I'll pay for the kettle. I'll pay you to have it snuck in there. Just snuck it in there, tell people where it is. It's free water. So they would buy the pot noodle at reduced price again, because I would mass buy them, and then they would go back to the school, which literally that's a 2-minute walk. It's a 2-minute walk there and back. They just bought themselves a pot noodle. They would go back and have lunch. I would make a ton of money. The store at the back, which banned it, just lost all their customers over like a span of a month.
Oh shit.
So they threatened me, and I'm like, well, legally, I'm allowed to do this. Because, fun fact, in the UK, if you want to do merchant stuff, you do actually have to buy a license. The license is 25 quid.
Oh. Okay.
25 quid. It's based off of where you live. So for where I lived in school, because I did go to school on Earth. I had to look. If you're gonna learn how to be a delinquent, you need to be adjusted to the age group. Age group tends to be within the teenagers and older teenagers. So I decided to do my schooling within those people. Not an easy task, but I made a ton of money, so that's fine. But yeah, that's like, it's legal. I just spent my dad was like, yeah, you just spent 25 quid. That's not a problem. Go put 25 quid in. And because they can't call the police on me for doing it because the school's allowing it because it's outside school grounds. I'm literally right outside the gate. So they can't do anything. The police can't do anything because it's like not on private property and I'm not causing a disruption because all the kids are lining up in the school grounds while I'm selling outside the school grounds. It's very sneaky.
Oh.
So the store tried to hire people to beat the crap out of me.
What the fuck?
So I just it was just people. There was like people just being really threatening and stuff. And I'm like, I know these people. They know me. They're just doing this because it looks like they're getting paid. And I'm like,
it's just business.
How many of you want to be paid a little extra? How many of you want to be paid just a little extra? I'll pay you a little extra if you just not do that. Or if you like it, I'll pay even more and you can just sit here and keep an eye on me. So that's exactly what I did. So that's exactly what happened.
Ruthless business.
It is. But that's kind of what it's why I'm not allowed to play strategy games that involve money. Because I tend to be money making's my thing. If I had to have a guilty if I had to have a guilty deadly sin myself, it's greed. Because I'm poor personally, I'm poor. Video games, all the money. I'm compensating for my lack of real money by having a lot of in-game money. I do in Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft especially. It's It's a lot of making, you want this item, I'll make it for you for less than market board price.
Hey.
But I still profit.
So that's what matters. All about the big numbers. Big numbers go up.
About the big numbers, yeah.
I remember when what's it called? Diablo 3 came out. I made sure I was the best on the Topaz market.
I did that as well. Butcher had Butcher at Torment 1, because that was the highest it could. No, Torment 2 was the highest it could go at the time. Butcher had had the Butcher's Cleaver. The Cleaver had at the time had a very specific roll chances on primary stats and secondary stats, and for barbarians that did the whirlwind build, it was a mandatory item. If it had strength, dexterity, like strength, stamina, and cooldown reduction, and rage regen, those are the ones you want. Then you can just infinitely whirlwind without any issues. Those, if you could get those at the best possible roll, they sold for 400 quid each.
Oh shit.
So I was in university and I decided to do that plus EVE Online to make as much money to pay through all the courses.
Oh.
I just made money in video games to feed myself, basically. And it worked out. It worked out quite nicely. I gave up on the third year though, because the amount of work I would have to put in. I mean, per hour, it's still more than a minimum wage, like massively. It's like 3 times minimum wage. But I was just like, yeah, but I'm not having that much fun. But I am going to continue playing EVE Online just to until I run out of funds. Once I run out of funds, then I'll just stop. That never happened.
Oh.
I had to tell myself to stop playing because I was just making profits, and I was fueling wars that were costing up to $20,000 each.
Damn.
And I would be like, yeah, a few of that money was mine. It paid for my entire PC that I still use to this day, even though it's coming on 6 years old. But I paid for my entire PC and the monitors through one EVE Online war that I had no part in. Oh. I just sold stuff. That's all I did. I just sold materials needed for them to craft really expensive stuff, and that equates to a few thousand quid. I'm like, that's my PC That's my PC bot.
it's honest work, Someone's got to do it.
It is. Somebody's got to sit there and be, what you're buying, just selling.
Oh, I love
Pull
that,
out my
man.
trench coat, reveal my EVE Online materials. Oh. You are going to war, aren't you? You want your destroyer classes? Well, you're going to need this. Ooh. I'll give you a discount because we are good friends and your alliance protects me sometimes. I'll give you 25% off. I won't tell you the fact I'm still profiting at least double.
Don't tell anyone. So.
Somebody found out later on after that particular war. They found out that I literally profited, I think, 3 times the amount that I spent. Even though I gave the fun thing is I didn't just give resources to one alliance.
But
the thing is, they didn't mind it because they knew I was neutral. They know that was a good thing to do because both of them know where the materials came from. It came through me. But they know that I won't have anything to do with their wars whatsoever. Everybody that was in the forums knew that I was not interested in going to war. I was just interested in getting some extra cash. Some people knew I was trying to get a PC, so they paid in actual physical money, and then I would give them resources. Where the money I got this PC came from.
Is that legal to do according to the game's?
It is. It is actually, yeah. It is actually completely legal to do on EVE Online. It's why people were when you talk to a lot of alliance members and stuff, they'd be like, yeah, that's the easiest way to fund wars is to use your own real money, and that's why a lot of a lot of these wars cost 20 grand upwards.
I love reading
It's
the
ridiculous.
headlines of like $1 Million War or whatever.
Yeah. It's it's a lot. It's a lot of money just being put into a digital war, but I'm pocketing, so it's not my problem.
Mm. You gotta, yeah, you skirting the outline, playing safe.
Mm.
Eve's one of
I've
those
made it clear.
games.
Yeah.
Eve's one of those games where like I wish I could play, but I'll just appreciate it from afar because it's too much investment
It's
for me.
spreadsheets. It's just a spreadsheet video game. It's a game about spreadsheets and knowing how to use spreadsheets. And I'm qualified to I literally took administration in school specifically for EVE Online. So
Wow.
I could micromanage my spreadsheets like to a ridiculous degree.
Did it? You broke the game. Too good.
I too powerful. Too powerful.
Powerful. Yeah. But yeah, we were talking earlier about future plans, and I think you've touched on that a bit. You've got some outfits you want to work on. You got your debut tomorrow.
It's very near future, yeah.
Very, yeah. It's still a future. Still counts.
It is, yeah.
You spoke about Tensei games and Diablo 2. Are there any other future games you're excited to stream?
More Heroes 3. I'm a big fan of No More Heroes. It's not. This is the fun thing. I've only played the first game. I've not played the second, and the third one's coming out in August. So I would like to play all four of them. There's a spin-off as well. Strikes Again. I would love to play those on stream. That's I think like SMT5, No More Heroes 3, Diablo 2 Resurrected. I am interested in Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is out. I am interested in that, but I would like to play the first one first and maybe stream it. We'll see. Oh, Orcs Must Die. Orcs Must Die 3. That's coming out on the 23rd. I really, really want to play it with Eloise. I've been playing the second one with Elle this week, and I'm hoping maybe next week we can finish the some of the maps. But I can't wait. I hope that the third game actually stays true to the original too. Unlike what we had with what's it called? Orcs Must Die Unchained, which was a kind of 3v3 tower defense, like fight off basically.
Like a MOBA-ish.
Yeah, like one team of three had their own map, and the other team of three had their own, like another one, and you try to sabotage each other's maps while trying to defend your portal, and then whoever loses, whoever has the highest health at the end, wins. Generally speaking, or if you run out of if you lost all your rift points, then it's game over. It's kind of it's a bit of like a MOBA crossed with tower defense, like actual tower defense.
It's pretty good. Kind of reminds me of vaguely team fight stuff. Those sort of team fight games.
Oh yeah.
Battle chess or whatever. Yeah, it seems pretty good, pretty exciting. Got a lot to do. A lot in the future.
It's a lot. Like, not including my super long-term goals of getting partnered. That's one goal. As I always tell people, don't have Twitch partner as an end goal. It should never be an end goal. In fact, that's how you're going to get declined.
That's just the beginning of the end game.
Yeah, like TwitchNev, when they look at your applications, they don't just look at your numbers. They also look at your content, and they look at how you're reacting to the idea of partnership. If you're making it look like partnership is just a goal, they're more likely to decline you than they are if you had like a whole bunch of plans ahead of you once you're past partner. For instance, mine is getting through my backlog. I'm more likely to get partnered than I am to finish my backlog. That is how bad it is.
Oh, that's just there. Those damn Steam sales, just so tempting.
Oh, I'm so happy that I include my wish list items in there, or any games that I'm interested in playing in the future, into the backlog automatically, because they're guaranteed to be bought.
Mm.
I'm happy that I'm at the point in my life where the Steam sales don't affect me as much anymore. I'm like, Steam sale, okay. What do I have on my games? Really expensive ones. Okay, never mind. See you
Yeah.
next year.
I think that's it's been like that for everyone. I remember like 8 years ago, Steam sales were like a big event, and now it's just like I check my wish list on day one. Oh, okay, and that's it. That's the whole sale.
Yeah, I keep an eye out for sales and whatnot. Also in like Humble Bundle, Green Man Gaming and stuff, the legitimate sites.
Hmm.
Because sometimes, or on GOG, because sometimes getting games on GOG is cheaper than it is getting on Steam. Especially if they're retro games that you already own and you just need to have one that's optimized for Windows 10.
Hmm.
Because a lot of DOS games don't like, even if you use DOSBox, it doesn't like Windows 10 in general.
Yeah.
It has an issue where like one of my favorite DOS games is Stonekeep. It's a dungeon crawler. It was done in like the 90s. As the worst FMV in existence, it is incredibly cringeworthy, but because it's so cringy, it's very good. It's a bit like it's a bit on par with like other FMV games where it's so bad it's good now.
I like
It's
Omen
aged
Trooper.
poorly, and that's what makes it great. Yeah, like the old Night Trap. What's another FMV game that I've played in the past? Harvester. That's extremely 18 plus, by the way, in terms of the fact that it's incredibly violent. But it's about that touchy subject of violence in video games. But it's like incredibly violent. But that's an FMV point and click it game. Tasmagoria. That's another cringy FMV. That's also another horror game. I know too many FMV horror games. Though, yeah, that game tries to read, like, Stonekeep tries to read your graphics card in your sound card, like it would in the 90s. Obviously, you're not using 90s technology. You're using technology from like the later 2000s, hopefully. So it would just not get past the next screen. It just stays stuck in the detection screen the entire time. GOG manages to create a batch file that gets past that completely, and it has a config file on what size you want the game to be. Ooh. So it's not locked to 800 by 600. You can make it larger, which is brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, GOG.
And they always seem to have like lower prices, and it's DRM free. Ooh. I feel like I just advertised GOG, but that's like I keep a strong eye out for games that I own that are old that I need to get a better copy of, or yeah, my current Steam list is very expensive games that don't want to go down in price. Like the like one franchise I want to look at is the Atelier series. The Alchemist Atelier series. That series is very, 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 very expensive. The prices of those games have not gone below 40 quid each.
Damn.
They almost, in the Steam sale, they dropped down in price. They were on sale for $34.99. So I'm I'm kind of miffed. I'm kind of miffed. Getting it secondhand is also very expensive. So I'm kind of holding back a little bit on those, because I mean the good news is I have so much in my backlog that I can save up money in the background and get them one at a time.
Yeah.
And physical for PS4, I don't want to get it on PC. Apparently the PC port has some issues, and when I hear it has some issues, that usually means we'll have issues for you. So
definitely if you're streaming.
So I'll just go straight to PS4, no problem. I have a capture card.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
But I will get through that backlog eventually. I promise. I swear.
One day. Well, devils live for eternity, right? So you'll get there eventually.
Yeah. And the more games are gonna keep coming out, and I'm gonna have to keep adding it to the list. And my horns will eventually turn white by the time I finish it. I swear.
Not even grey, just white.
Oh yeah, we white horns. So it goes by color. From what I know, It's not like I go around asking people, so why is your horns black? Why are your horns white? Apparently, you can indicate people's age based on the color of their horns.
Ah.
Red is very young, black is about middle age, and white is very ancient.
Oh.
You can tell how old I am.
Well, you've
from my glowing red horns.
not even debuted yet, so
Exactly, I'm very young. I'm not even debuted.
damn. Should you'll get there. You got tomorrow. So what are your plans for tomorrow? If you're allowed to reveal it.
This entire thing has been entirely revealed in all of it on my Discord because I don't keep secrets about my content anymore.
Oh.
Not after poor Fishbowl Ulner, where I kept so many stuff secret and it just backfired so badly. So anyone who knows my channel knows that I like to make fun of VTuber stuff because VTubers tend to copy the same stuff. They're usually not very much in the lines of being creating their own unique stuff. They tend to go more towards doing the same thing as the last person did. So I'm going to do a little bit of a dig at that and being like, come on, be creative, you do something cool. I did it in my debut video. A lot of debut announcements have the "Are you ready?" So I put, "You are ready. Are you?" That's where that part comes in. But my debut is a less than 1 minute 30-second lore video that was done in about 30 minutes. It was 45 minutes in total, including rendering and editing and stuff. It was voiced in one take. It was the fastest lore video you're ever gonna see. It's very low quality.
Speedruns.
Yeah. I have slides that are much more in-depth, but I'm still gonna make fun of little details and stuff. There's karaoke, where I don't actually sing. It's more like I'm yelling, and it's one song that I yell through, and that's it. And then, I'll answer some questions. If people have any, they probably will. And then I'll play some Power Wash Simulator. Because why not? Why not? People just finish their debuts then. It's like, well, what about your content? What kind of content do you do? Why should I come back to watch you after your debut? Like, what kind of... I would like a snippet, a sample, please. Please, may I have but one singular bite of the content that you create? I'm gonna play some Power Wash Simulator, and I'm just gonna vibe.
That's pretty good. So you clean up on the after party with a power wash?
Yeah, just a little bit of cleaning. Cleaning, some satisfying cleaning as well, because I've personally used a power washer before. It does exactly what it does in the game. Just one slow, clean, line, gone. It's beautiful. I love it.
I need to get me one. I don't know what I'll clean, but I need to get myself a power washer. Literally just go, if you have a pathway to your house, you just do that. I did that once, and it was just... I've never seen concrete so clean and gray in my life. It's beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah, it was like it started off dark, muddy color, and it finished it, and it was just that perfect concrete color. But freshly dried concrete.
Oh.
This has been here for 40 years, 50 years, and I've managed to make it brand spanking new by aggressively chucking water at it at high velocity.
Postman will be proud.
Well, that's my plans. It's nothing fancy. I call it soft serve because I'm not hiding anything. It's not a lot of oh wow, it's time to reveal my model. Well, you guys are seeing it right now. This is one of my models. This is one of my models. Oh no, I revealed my debut. So...
The secret is out. You can't do the for reveals anymore.
Oh, I did one of those. I did it as a joke, obviously. Again, to kind of take the mickey out of people who do follower goals. I like the idea of retweet goals. I like the idea of replies or likes and stuff, or even just time. False ID did a really good one where he just used time. So it's like after so many hours, I'll just reveal it anyway. So if you have like because there's people who are like, I have 68 followers, but if I get to 500, I will show you my knees.
Oh,
I'm like, I've been here for 7 months. I'm like 540 something.
oh.
I'm not desperate enough to ask, but what did I put? Let me check. What did I put? I have to. What did I write for my spicy reveal?
Ooh.
Which I never did, by the way. It was a joke. I wasn't actually gonna reveal anything.
I'll reveal my
Yes.
elbows.
In order to see my hands, you were required to do 15 blood sacrifices. For my legs, I required 10 liters of tears. To see my head, you needed to provide exactly to the atomic level 666 grams of Skittles. The full body is 10 replies of thank you, internet celebrity Ulner, and for the alternative outfit, a hug.
That's quite a good deal. Very generous.
It is. Like, yes. I was gonna make the joke of having like unrealistic numbers for followers. Like, if you want to see my model, I would require 7.28 billion followers.
It's the bot accounts.
That's the entirety of the human race to follow me. 7.28 billion. I'm like, yes, I need 7.28 billion people to follow me, please. Then you may perceive my ankles. Oh.
Did they get the goal? Did they submit hugs?
Oh, yes, they submitted hugs and replies, and then I paid the buzz. I'm like, I'll show the like full reveal on the debut because it was supposed to be that week. And then life happened multiple times, and it's been delayed twice. Actually, it's been delayed twice to tomorrow.
Damn life. Well, hopefully there's no more life happening until tomorrow.
The only thing I ask is like for my younger sister to come down and be like, "Do you want snacks?" I'm like, "Yes, please. Please buy me snacks. Please buy me snacks."
Just gonna stand outside.
Snack for my debut. Munch a packet of crisps in my debut. Yeah, just start loudly munching a pair of like, I don't know, McCoy's steak chips.
Oh, good stuff.
Get them steak chip crisps and just go on debut.
Not even Alien Raiders. Space Invaders.
No, I don't know. Space Invaders are nice. I like the beef. I like the spicy hot ones. I like the beef ones too, but the spicy hot ones are where it's at.
You can get
or flaming hot Watsits. They're back now. Missed them.
I haven't seen them, but I'll keep an eye out for them.
Surprised they're still called Watsits. They're Cheetos.
Yeah.
Just a different. Yeah, legally they had to have a different name in the UK, so they're called Watsits. Watsit sounds better, but I'm so used to like people across the pond being like Cheetos. I love my cheesy Cheetos. Like now I want to call them Cheetos.
Or mate got his Cheetos.
Oh, it's a Watsits.
Oh.
Sounds better when you say Watsits over Cheetos if you use the if you use the stereotypical Southern English accent. What's a Watsits?
Oh, what's it?
Like a Watsits.
Going down the tuck shop for a couple of Watsits.
Oh yeah.
Get me some of them Transformers.
40p a bag for bangers.
Oh, Panda Pops.
And them UFO space discs.
Oh.
Your sour UFOs banging.
bit of Haribo.
Yeah, oh. They wouldn't have Haribo when I was in school. They're like,
no.
Haribo is bad, but we'll let you have UFO space discs. I'm like, that's got more sugar in it than the Haribo does. Like twice as much sugar as a Haribo does.
Shit. It's all that sherbet.
It's all, yeah, it is all that sherbet, but it's so good.
Did you have the kids in school that would get the sherbet straws and sniff them?
Oh god, there was so many of those. There was so many of those that would like flat out be like, I'm smoking, I've got crack in my nose, and they would snort it. And then I remember vividly that somebody had a horrible nosebleed because the sugar granules just scratched right up his nose. So he ended up having to be sent to the nurse.
Understandable.
Provided with a wet paper towel as standard. I'm sorry, wet paper towel and a mint.
Oh, mints.
But they're bathroom mints.
I see you went to a posh school and if they're giving out mints.
I went to a public one. I was in a public. What are they called?
Comprehensive secondary.
Yeah, comprehensive secondary. That's what they were in. I was in a comp one. Yeah, it was bathroom mints though. They tasted rank, but you had to have one. But technically speaking, it is correct. Mint is a muscle relaxant.
Oh.
But it only works on the abdomen. It doesn't work on your arms and stuff. So if you like bashed your elbow in and it's all bleeding, a mint isn't going to solve it. If you ate something at the school dinner and somebody punched you in the stomach, and that would be very painful. It's gonna upset your stomach. A mint does help because it relaxes your abdomen muscles. It's why if you ever have if you have an upset stomach, drink some peppermint tea. That is my lifelong advice to you. That's my life. I shall impart my great wisdom upon you. Peppermint tea.
Thank you.
For stomach troubles.
I'll have to hire you for the guild.
And then, as you know, the magical all-purpose elixir known as the wet paper towel
fixes everything.
The panacea.
You've got some sort of mental problems. Wet paper towel.
Just slap it on your forehead. Just there we go. You're doing grand. Paper towel. Miss, I've cracked my skull and I'm bleeding everywhere. Wet paper towel. Yep. Miss, I've fallen down the stairs. I think I broke both of my legs. Wet paper towel.
If it's on the body, wet paper towel. If it's fallen off the body, it's sawdust and put a chair on it.
Sawdust and a chair.
Yep.
Oh, good. Never change education system. Actually, no, please do change. Please do.
Please do.
I didn't learn anything in school. Everything I learned was outside of school, which is kind of sad, really. But it helps a lot because now I know modern things that I can use to make people rebel once more.
Didn't school teach you to rebel?
No! School taught us that there was no point to rebelling because then they'll just phone the police.
Oh no.
And then there's nothing you can do when you're like 16 being like, I don't like the school system. It's stupid. And while the police are trying to pin you down because you punched a teacher.
Oh no.
I didn't do that, but I've seen somebody actively get very mad at a teacher, rightfully so actually, because the teacher was being very unreasonable. And they tripped when they were trying to get closer to the teacher, being like, I'm being intimidating. And they accidentally elbowed the teacher when they were trying to like once they're falling down, and they got pinned down by the police.
I don't think.
Well, I've got some wild school stories. My school, as you would expect from a public comprehensive school, is about as standard as you can get from a UK public comprehensive school. No budget and everybody smokes.
Where did people smoke in your school?
There were 3 spots. If it was absolutely pissing it down, it was under the stairs below maths.
Oh.
So, because there were stairs that linked between the maths and English, it was big enough that you could quite literally hide under the stairs and not be noticed, period, by teachers because it's concrete stairs. That was the spot if it was raining. The teachers would be hounding that spot outside of it. Like, if it was sunny outside and you tried hiding under there for any reason, they dragged you out.
No.
Outside, it was either inside the bike sheds, not outside it or behind it, inside the bike sheds, because it was full access. Because the poor janitor lost the lock for it.
Oh.
So he just pretended to lock it all the time. And all the kids just went inside. Nobody stole any bikes because all the bikes were all chained anyway. And people are smart. So what they would do is they would just be like, "Oh, the bikes are pointless. It takes too much effort to go and like, you know, get some like bully a kid to get their key and then steal the bike. Pointless. A waste of time. So we're just gonna smoke in there." And it's like 4 bike sheds. So all 4 were just like turned into a hot pot. Just. And what was the other spot? Oh, so there was this behind the biology section, like of the school, because the sciences were slightly split up. Because I don't know if you had it. There's like physics, chemistry, and biology were all split up, and you would bounce between each of the sections. But behind biology, there is this nice little pond, and it's really, really, really nice. The funny thing is that the students take care of it, and the only reason why they take care of it is because they smoke there. And literally every single kid that smokes there is like, yeah, we take care of it because we don't want to look at anything that's fucking ugly. So we take care of the pond, and the pond looks amazing. It still looks amazing to this day, even though they've renovated the entire school at this point. It's completely a new school, but they kept that pond. And it's become a tradition that if you're going to smoke there, you have to look after the pond.
It's the law,
But
local law.
It's yeah. It's like it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But those were the 3 spots. Alcohol drinking was a completely different spot because boy, getting caught drinking alcohol is by far one of the worst things you could do. I didn't do it. I didn't drink alcohol back then. Well, no, I did. I did it at my parents'. I did it with my parents' supervision because that's what we're allowed in Scotland. I actually did abide some laws. I may have been a delinquent. I may have been a delinquent, but there were some laws that I do actually respect. One of them is drinking. Drinking, smoking, and drug use is the 3 laws that I kind of like seriously abide to, because I mean, they're there for a reason. They're there for a reason.
They affect your body.
For alcohol, but for alcohol, you would hide in the It's really specific, but the boys' locker room had a room inside the boys' locker room that it has no handle. You're not supposed to get in, but if you had like a metal ruler or something tough enough, like that you can crowbar the door open slightly because it's not locked. It's just stuck. You could wiggle in there and you can get in there, and it's just it used to be like an old storage room. It's only in the boys' side. So all the girls would try and like wiggle their way through the boys' locker rooms just to go and drink. And they would keep their alcohol there as well, because none of the teachers found. I don't think any of the teachers ended up finding out that that room was accessible and was used to store alcohol. Because when I checked there, because you'd think for a delinquent they wouldn't go into like student politics and stuff like that. I was in the student council. I used my position of power in order to make money. So I was like, this makes no sense. Like, that room shouldn't be. I know about the room. Like, I am a merchant. I should know these things. I should know about information about the school. I know about that room. I was like, and I know they store booze, but I was thinking like it must be like Blue Frost and whatnot. That's just, or WKD and stuff that's stored there because that's cheap. Okay, well, WKD is not that cheap nowadays, but it was like £1 per bottle back then. It's really, really cheap. I go in there and it's like proper whiskey.
Whoa.
Bottles of wine, and the bottles of wine are like 15 quid each.
That's the fine stuff.
There's absolute vodka in there. I was like, what the? Where'd you get this stuff?
So it's a fine dining experience in that room.
It's a fine drinking experience. It has no windows. It has no lights. So somebody had to buy a lamp, like one of those wind up lamps. Somebody had to buy a wind up lamp in there, and it absolutely reeks of cigarette smoke, which is weird because you can't smell it from the other end. If you go into the locker room, you can't smell it, even if you get close to it. You open it, it's a what's the term called?
Dank?
No, a sealed room for smoking. Generally, it's for smoking weed, and I can't remember what it's called.
Hot pot? No.
No, hotbox. Yeah, it is hotbox. It was essentially just hotboxing tobacco.
Wow. I mean, that's...
It really was.
Not sure if that's
'Cause there's
worth
no
it,
air.
but...
I mean, they did it because they couldn't keep the door open because the teachers would pass through. They would know when the teachers pass through too, because the door to the boys' locker room is extremely loud. It screeches. It doesn't creak. It doesn't squeak. It screeches. But
I'm surprised they didn't hire like a barkeeper to make drinks and shit in there.
there probably was somebody who tried to do mixing in there, because a lot of the students came back absolutely like they weren't wasted. But you could tell they were drunk. But the teachers said nothing about it because they couldn't say anything about it.
Oh, were they drinking in their own staff room?
Yeah, basically, a lot of the teachers were drinking, which they're not allowed to do. You can't do that. So, you know, it was kind of like a unspoken agreement, like, we don't tell if you don't tell. But the kids were also being relatively responsible with the drinks. They were, because like a lot of the drinks there were like old as hell. Like they were there for quite a while, and they're still drinkable. But they weren't just outright chugging the entire like bottle of absolute vodka in one go and then just going off to class next. So they kind of like they didn't know where they were drinking or what they were drinking. They just knew that they were drinking because they came into class buzzed as all hell or tipsy, but none of them were flat out drunk. So I kind of respect that, if you know what I mean. Like, I respect that you were at least willing to not, you know, get too out of hand on both sides, like the teacher and the student.
Hello, Stephen. On your way to maths, are you? Can I interest you in a zombie? Shaken or stirred?
Like a Bloody Mary to call. I have a Bloody Mary if you would like to. We could talk a bit about English literature as we sip upon Bloody Marys.
I can help you with your Shakespearean reenactment.
But at the low cost of one Stroma whiskey liqueur drink. That's what I'm drinking, actually. It's very sweet. I hate it. But I mix it with other stuff to make it tolerable. Because I don't like wasting money. Even though I did buy this drink. I didn't buy the booze. I was given it because other people hated it.
I'm usually the one giving away the booze. I'm too picky with my alcohol.
I'm not. But that's kind of like, you wouldn't get picky if you knew about the alcohol itself. Like, you'd be like, I know. Okay, less so for tequila. I'm not a fan of tequila, but I can mix it with stuff so I can make it tolerable. I'm not actually a fan of that. It's probably the only booze I won't drink. Is tequila. Vodka's fine. Vodka schnapps is fine. Whiskey and rum are my favorites. They're the top two, even though they're not good for your bowel movement. Dark alcohols or dark spirits are, because they're much more dense, they're not good for your bowel movements. In the wise words of a drag woman regarding whiskey, complex notes of fruit, floral, and nut in my butt? What? It's for me, it's worth it. For me, it's worth it. It's worth it. But I don't drink that much anyway, so it's not gonna upset me too much.
Stay in school. Don't drink alcohol unless it's in the special bar, the student bar.
The student bar. Yes, drink alcohol unless don't drink alcohol unless it's within the student bar. But you also have to provide your own booze as payment, so be aware.
Yes. Drink responsibly in school, kid.
Everything in moderation. I need to make like one of those Ulner for president banners, and the quote just says everything in moderation, like everything, even breathe in moderation.
The government
exists
can have
in moderation.
a little corruption.
have a little less corrupt. You know, corrupt in modern. Actually, no, that's something that like people who do kind of like it's called political strategy. It's not. I wouldn't call it that myself. When it comes to like understanding your country and the management required of it, because a country is a business. Like in the end, a country is a business. But a lot of people are like, yeah, you should still be corrupt, but do it moderately. Too much corruption is just gonna cause problems, but do it moderately. To which I'm like, yes, yes, indeed. Everything in moderation.
Yes, indubitably.
Eat, drink, breathe, and manage your country in moderation.
Yes.
That is why I should have. That's why you should vote for me, Ulner, for president.
I will allow you to have a little of a war. Not too much, just a little. Enough to whet the appetite.
Moderation. Just enough that both parties benefit in the end, or you benefit more than the other party. But not enough that it causes complete and utter decimation, destruction of property, destruction of nature, and in some cases destruction of other countries. Because one country being like heavily affected by war can affect the other neighboring countries. Which is why you should do it moderately. And that's why we have the United Nations Party. Because we learned that not waging war moderately is a really bad idea.
Yeah, it sort of gets a bit out of hand, get a bit too leery.
Our 2 world wars, very close between, like next to each other. So yeah.
Damn, what I forgot what you call 100 years now. Not a decade.
Century.
Yeah, what a century last century was. So.
I was around during that time, technically speaking, but time flows differently in hell. It's a lot slower.
Damn.
Like 20 years in hell, it's like thousands of years.
Oh,
that's
shit.
why people don't. That's apparently why people don't like hell. They're like, it's too slow. I feel like I've been in here for an eternity. I'm like, I've been here for 28 years. It's not that bad. I mean, I did get to see Napoleon get his ass kicked, and I think that was well worth it. That was well worth 5 years. You know, I think that was well worth it.
The people go down the hell pubs to watch the fights.
Oh yeah, we do that. It's such a great thing. The deadly sin departments tend to not, because they're kind of like extremely busy. Rightfully so. They're called deadly sins for a reason. But for us in the major and minor departments, we tend to we do enjoy ourselves a little more, especially here in the Department of Rebellion. And because the departments of rebellion, betrayal, were the top 2, are always the top 2, but we have such similarities, because a lot of similarities, you know, people tend to, you know, betray because of rebellion, because they want to rebel and stuff. So we have a lot in common. But we always go down to the pub and be like, oh, did you see the guy that got shot? Yeah. They're gonna start World War I now. Cool. Who are you voting for?
Did you see that horrendous display last night? It's like, oh, that's the problem with Germany. They always try and walk it in. Although it's.
But Denmark was the most disappointment. So many people lost so much money for World War II. It's betting on Germany versus Denmark. They thought like Denmark, who was at the time, because they're incredibly powerful, despite being a small country, they're like, oh, they'll hold back. That's not an issue. Like they're really powerful. No, they gave up in 2 hours.
What?
Do you know how many people lost their money? I mean, I won a lot of money. I was the one managing the whole thing, so.
Oh yeah. The house always wins.
Oh yeah, like I make sure like I have some sort of safety net in the event that something like that happens, where, you know, yeah, Denmark was getting ready to defend, and then they just gave up because it took too much effort. I quote, too much effort to wage war against Germany. You might as well just give up, well, so you don't take too many losses. And I'm like, that's. I agree with this. I agree with this a lot. But you could have rebelled a little bit. Come on. That's 2 hours. That's like a tantrum.
Could have, yeah. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just gotta give him a little kick, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But hey, I made some money, so that's all that matters to me.
What currency did they use down there?
Well, so we have ducats currently. Sometimes the currency changes because, you know, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but in the afterlife, there's more than just heaven and hell. Like, the other aspects in other religions tend to have their own spots as well, and they're kind of like all mixed together. Like hell is hell with deep hell is right next to Helheim, which all next to all of the Norse mythology areas as well,
It's a lot of
and
them.
then so on and so forth. We in hell use ducats at the moment. I think it's universal with anything that resembles the concept of what we have, which is just, it's supposed to be the realm of rewarding those who do bad deeds through punishment. Which makes no sense, but we're just having fun, and you get to have fun by suffering a little bit, so it's fine. Yes, we use ducats. D-U-C-A-T, ducats.
Oh,
That's our universal currency. They're rectangle coins.
Oh.
They're coins within a rectangular shape. It's a bit like having a banknote. It's like a banknote, but cut in half, and it's just a little smaller slab. That's a ducat.
Damn.
It used to be triangle shaped, but people used it as weapons at one point, and you know, the idea of sharpening a coin to use as a weapon was a pretty bad idea. Except for the Duke of Wrath, he was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I could see him.
But that got banned. we changed it to a rectangle instead of a triangle.
We might be hell, but we have standards down here.
We do. Do you know how, like, the amount of work it takes to organize all the souls and stuff? It's a lot of work. We don't need to add like personal employee damages in there as well. So like, getting stabbed by another employee via a coin it's not a part of insurance. We're not insured for that.
Damn.
So they banned it just to avoid but the amount of insurance it would cost. Poor, each department would be in such a bad situation. So yes.
Well, we've learned a lot today. We've learned a lot about hell, how to make money while in school, how to make money through video games.
Yes.
We've learned about being a fish. We've learned about ye old days before VTubing.
Back in my day.
Oh, all that OBS shizzle. But yeah, I think we should start wrapping this up soon. I'm getting a bit peckish. You've got hell bureaucracy to deal with, I imagine.
Well, I have to down the rest of my drink. Then I'm going to make my fake version of pot noodle that I have learned to. I've learned to create my own pot noodles, and I think it's genius. And then I'm going to try and organize everything for tomorrow. That's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be slightly anxiety filled as I double check my long list of to-dos.
So what time is your debut tomorrow?
It is the 10th of July, Saturday at 7 p.m. BST. That is 2 p.m. EST, and that is 1 hour. Is it 1 hour ahead or is it 1 hour behind CET? Isn't that well, yeah, CET's an hour ahead, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's an hour behind. I
can't remember.
It's either 8. I think it's like 8 p.m. CET.
It's on your Twitter, I imagine. It's the information.
It is, yes. All of my information is on my Twitter.
I'll definitely try to check in. I'm sure everyone here will come and check in as well. I hope it all goes well.
Hoping that my scuffed remains professionally scuffed.
Oh yeah. You gotta.
I do not believe in professionalism. I believe that professionalism is what you consider as professional. So if it's a little scuffed for me, that's fine. That's part of my professionalism. I should post, so if I should post, my content should be shitposty. You know.
Definitely, 100% shit. Well, I hope tomorrow goes very shit then.
Thank you very much.
I hope you. I'm trying to think. I hope trolling is on peak performance. But yeah, I think we'll rate Tilda because it's her debut today.
It is.
So if I can remember how to do this smoothly, we will do that.
Yes.
So if there's anything, any last things you'd like to say, now would be the chance.
My final words as I depart from this realm of existence. I'll give you one piece of parting advice that you can think about. People, if you're a VTuber and people say don't look at numbers, it's not gonna work. Okay, to look at numbers. Don't compare numbers to other people. Your numbers are your own. Everybody struggles regardless of the size. So take that as you will. I believe in you. I believe in you. You've got. If I can do it for 10 years, you can do it for less.
Damn. That's some good advice. Pay attention to numbers, but don't compare them, I guess.
Yeah. Because numbers, in the end, numbers are kind of important for a whole bunch of things. So you do need to pay attention to them, but just don't compare them to other people. What's good and what's bad is you should not be thinking about that. It's more like, hey, I have 5 people that watch me. That's amazing. I like these 5 people. I hope that I can reach 10 someday. That kind of thinking's good.
Growth. Everyone's growth is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, the timer's going down, which I hate the raid timer so much. How do you usually end your streams?
I usually tell when I'm next streaming, which is of course tomorrow, 7 p.m. BST. I please enjoy yourselves, have a fantastic evening, and keep an eye on what's under your bed.
Oh.
I may be sleeping under your bed tonight.
Well, there's a big pillar in the middle of mine, so you might want to curl around that.
Thanks. Perfect. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.